Okay, my name is Pat. I'm here with Recreation USA. I'm going to do a walkthrough on this Catalina for you. I usually like to start with the water heater. It's a two-way water heater, gas and electric. We're going to show you that the gas side of it works by turning it on, and then we're going to shut it off before it has time to heat the water up. And then we will turn the electric side on, and if at the end of the walkthrough we have hot water, then we know the electric side's working. So you do have to turn the propane tanks on first. I just checked them before we started the video, but this is a quick access, and just turn them on, you know, like your gas grill at home or whatever. Okay, let's go inside. Alright, you can see, maybe you can hear the AC is running right now. There's a valve here, call it dump valve. If you, for whatever reason, you want the majority of the air to come out right in this area, then you can open that dump valve rather than send it through the vents. But if you want to send it through the vents, then you need to close that valve. There is a filter there, it's a washable filter that you'll want to wash every now and again. Anytime you fill your propane tanks up, you can get air bubbles in the propane lines, and that can cause an issue with your automatic igniters on your water heater and on your furnace. So the easy way to get rid of air bubbles is just to turn the stove on a little bit. This has a sparker on it, so you just turn the gas onto the burner and hit the sparkler. They all lit, so that's looking good. This does have a button here that turns lights on the knobs. It also turns on the oven light inside. Don't really have to do it for too long, just a little bit. And then sometimes these ovens have sparklers in them, and sometimes they don't. So we'll have to see what this one is. So this knob here for the oven has a little flame symbol here for the pilot. You want to turn it to that, and then you got to hold it in. There we go. And it does have a sparkler on it. Sometimes it can take a minute on these brand new ovens. There you go. Pilot is lit. So you want to keep holding it, let that pilot take hold, then you can let go, and the pilot's still on, so we're good. And then you can turn it to whatever temperature you want, and the oven is working. Covers the stove in the oven. Hopefully got any air bubbles out of the lines. This is just a cover. You're not supposed to put this down when this is hot. And it's not meant to cook on. It's just to give you some additional counter space when you're not using your stove, essentially. Okay. Find the control panel, which is right here. So we got some different buttons here. Check your battery there. That's full. Freshwater tank has got about a third in it, so that's the tank that you use if you're going to be off grid. You're not connected to a garden hose. You put water in that tank, and then there's a switch right here for the water pump. That's going to pump the water through your faucet. Black tank is empty, gray is empty. I think this one only has one gray tank. But you got your slide out button, you have your power awning button. There's your water heater, DSI heaters, water heater, water pump, interior lights working, and exterior lights. We'll check that in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and kick the water heater on. This light comes on, you know, while it's trying to light. Once that light goes out, it's supposed to be lit. But we're gonna go check it and verify it ourselves out here. So that switch on there that said exterior lights is gonna be the awning lights. All right. Okay. this water heater, I can hear that it's running. This does get hot. See in there. That's working. And then out here is your electric element. So we're going to turn that to on. This is a pressure release valve. So when you winterize your camper, you're going to bypass your water heater on the back of it. There's some valves to bypass it. And then pull your drain plug. That's going to empty your water heater. Now when you go to de-winterize, you're going to put your drain plug back in and then unbypass it. So that water's going to start filling up, and the water and air are fighting for space in there. So you can release that pressure as it's filling up with this valve. Once you get water to come out of it, you know it's full. And when the water heater's trying to ignite, you'll hear a click, click, click of the igniter. And you do have to put this handle on this screen door, and we'll get that taken care of for you. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off, and I already hit the switch for the electric side. If we have hot water at the end, we know it's going to be working. So that exterior light was the awning lights. I guess let's walk around the outside, and then we'll come back in and do the inside. Okay, so this has got a solid step here on the main entry. Some people ask how this works sometimes. It does have legs that adjust here with these pins, and you do want that door to be all the way open, or it'll catch on the steps when you put the steps in. With these solid steps, you want to brush them off or shake them off before you put it in. Just turn that handle, turn it back, it's locked in, you're ready to travel. When you have these properly set up, these should be close here. If it's too high, it's going to catch on the door. Okay, this does have the heated enclosed underbelly that's shown right there. The JBL speakers, good speakers, and it has the multicolored awning lights. Right now they're on green, but there's about 100 colors it can be, and you can also choose different patterns, cascading, flashing, steady, whatever it is that you like. Guess we can do the awning real quick. There's that power button there that's on the panel. Okay, that's working. Back in. It gets to be a really windy day. You don't really want this awning to be out. So it's just something to be aware of when you're camping. Sometimes I get people ask about the handles as well. It's just up and over. And usually you want to put it in front of the door for traveling. Which on this one, it's got that on there, so you wouldn't even be able to lay it that way. Alright. This has the aluminum fenders on it. These are not going to crack like the plastic ones do. And it has the aluminum rims. Those aren't going to rust. They also run cooler than steel rim, less chance of a blowout. Filled with the nitrogen, is lighter and runs cooler, less chance of a blowout. Outdoor TV connections here. You can set on a table or you can mount to the side if you like. This is the furnace exhaust, so we'll check that in a little while. One thing to be careful about with this is it gets very hot. So if you're going to be using your furnace, you don't want to set something in front of here that can catch fire. And you also, kids, things like that, you just want to be aware that this does get very warm. This gets warm as well, the hot water heater. This is a manual slide override. So there's a tool, which we'll see in the compartment, that will bring that slide in if, say, the motor wasn't working. So at least you can get it in to get it transported somewhere where you can get it repaired. That's a nice feature. The locks, the top lock is your handle lock, and the bottom lock is the deadbolt lock. This camper's got the magnets. Those are nice, better than the flimsy plastic clips that tend to break. You do have pass-through storage on this one. Okay. Sometimes people ask what these are. That's basically a gutter. It just funnels water, away from the camper a little bit. Okay. We've got this one set up for your weight distribution. Here's parts of that were in the storage compartment. It does have the power front jack on it. There's also a tool in the cargo compartment. It's a manual override for the power front jack. So it goes down in here and you can crank it up and down. Say if maybe your battery's dead or something, the motor's not working or something, you got a way of still raising and lowering it. So your chains, a lot of people have a bad habit of wanting to put this in here and then hook that to the truck. This is your last line of defense. If everything else fails, your hitch comes apart, the camper is no longer connected to the truck, this needs to be connected to the frame of the truck. You can get one of the climbing clips if that makes it easier to connect it to the frame, or you can pull it out of the box and then wrap it through itself onto the frame, and then put it back in. Once this pulls out of that box, it locks the brakes up. So, if for some reason it did come disconnected, it's kind of a last safety measure so that the camper's not rolling around so much and possibly damaging it, something else, or other human beings. And then this here, of course, once you got it locked in on your ball, for whatever reason, some people seem to think that this is optional. This is probably the biggest safety thing that you can do to make sure your camper doesn't come loose, is to put that pin in there that locks it onto the ball. Okay, the battery's installed right there. This is a battery disconnect. We've got it on green, so we've got the battery turned on. When you go to store your camper, you want to move this into the off position. If you don't, some items in the camper will quickly drain your battery down within 48 hours. And the main culprit is the CO2 propane detector that's always running, but there's other things as well, memory functions. Everything is going to drain a little bit from the battery, and so you will have a dead battery when you come back to load if you don't turn the battery disconnect switch. Right, other side of the compartment, we've got some components here that are part of the weight distribution, and that's the tool for the weight distribution. You've got your solar panel controller right here. This does already have a solar panel installed on the roof. So it's basically a trickle charger for the battery. This is your fresh water tank. So if you're going to be connected to garden hose, you won't be using this, but sometimes people put a little bit of water in here while traveling if they want to use the bathroom, whatever it might be. Or if you're going to be off grid, you're going to want to, probably have it filled up, and then use your pump to pump it through the faucet. I usually don't recommend traveling with a whole lot of water. If you're going to go somewhere where you're going to be off grid, not have a garden hose, fill it up when you get close. You're just not dragging that extra weight around. It's just a sticker that says it has the solar panel on it. Okay. Down here, fresh water drain. So it's right there. You just pull the cap. And right here is your connection, and you know what? This one actually does have two gray tanks. So it has a galley tank and a bathroom tank. The galley is the kitchen. So your kitchen sink water is going to come out of this one here. You can use a Y connection, or you can just move the hose from connection to connection. And this one here has got the bathroom gray, so your bathroom sink and bathroom shower water, and your black water, which is your toilet water. They're color coded. And so usually what you want to do is drain your toilet water first, and then use your gray water, which is basically soap water, to kind of flush out that hose behind the toilet water. Okay, outdoor shower. This actually has the outdoor mount. That's working. Got hot and cold there. We're hooked up here, city water connection. So pay attention to these labels here. That's where you want to be hooked up to your garden hose. This is for flushing out your black tank. Solids can build up in the black tank, so you'll want to flush that tank out every so often. A lot of people like to do it, before they leave the campground, every time they camp. There are some enzymes you can put in the tank that will eat solids. You still won't want to flush it occasionally. It's a nice feature. The old school method was sticking a garden hose down the toilet. But be really careful here. You don't want to hook up to the wrong one. When you're hooked to this one, you've got to have your black tank valve pulled. That water has to have somewhere to go. If you don't have it pulled, it's going to come up out of the toilet. It'll shoot out of the vent on the roof of the toilet. And then I've also heard stories of people dropping the black tank out the bottom of their camper because they hooked up to the wrong connection. So be careful about that. Cable satellite input. This is a 30 amp camper. That's the electric cord. If for some reason you're trying to book a campsite and the campsite only has a 50 amp connection, you can still do that. There's an adapter that you buy, we call it dog bone, that will allow you to connect to a 50 amp service. Okay, stabilizers, and there's a tool for that as well. So these are not levelers. They are not meant to level a camper, lift a camper, anything like that. They're only meant to make the camper not shake when you're inside of the camper. So if you try to use these to lift, you're probably going to end up bending them. With most travel trailers, you got to put it where you're going to put it. Check your level left or right. If one side needs to come up, you got to pull it back forward, put something down on the ground. You can use paver stones, 2x6s, and then they make things that kind of look like big Lego blocks, specifically for the RV industry, for leveling. Pull the camper back up on top of that. Once you have it level left or right, you can use your front jack to level front to back. Okay. So the backup camera is installed on this one. This has a cargo rack on the back. This is a nice feature, $800 upgrade that just came with it. So you just pull these two pins here, the pin on this side and the pin on the other side, drop it down, put the pin back in. When it's in the down position, the pin's going to go on the front side instead of the back side. That's what actually stick that. There's a spray port that's back here. Once you have that cargo down, it gives you, essentially a garden hose sprayer on the outside of the camper. Got a leash link for the pits here. I don't have a key for this. Okay, we'll come back to this. I'm gonna have to get the key to unlock that. Let's check out the inside. It's hot out here. It's cold in here. Alright. So we can get into it here. Fire extinguisher is here by the door. Some storage space there. Sink covers. So these just, when you're not using your sink, give you a little more counter space. You do have some USB plugs kind of throughout the camper, different places for charging your devices. The bunks have them here on the wall, so everybody's got a phone or something they need charged. This is a push button light. It's working. Both bunks have their own window. Push button light is working. Storage cubby. People, you know, I've heard a lot of people say that's where they're going to put their dog cage or something like that, or dog bed, or drawers up and out. And actually these are not these lock in place, so you don't have to go up on these. So here's some of that, those enzymes for the black water tank. And then you've got some bathroom accessories. Most of the manufacturers don't install these. They just put them in a drawer and let you decide if you want to install them, where you want to install them. And here's all your manuals. Camper. Okay. Microwave is working. Stove light's working, and the fan is working. Which is actually something I probably should point out on the outside. This is the vent. There's two buttons here that open that vent. So you want to make sure that's open if you're trying to use your stove and your fan. But when you're traveling, you want to click those back in, just so it's not bouncing around. Insects can't climb in, something like that. All right. Okay, right here is your propane CO2 detector. Like I said, that is always running and is the main culprit for why your battery will get drained if you don't do your battery disconnect. And you've got the your electric panel. So these are breakers, just like your house, for alternating current, items that use AC, alternating current. And then you've got fuses for items that use direct current, DC, stuff that runs off the battery. If you have a problem with anything that has any sort of electrical component, this is a good place to start. See if you got any breakers that flip or fuses that went bad. And another thing we can point out while we're here, GFI outlets. So just like your house, anytime you've got an outlet around a kitchen or a bathroom area or outside, they're GFI, so that if they get water on them, they shut down the circuit. But you can have a problem with an outlet that's not a GFI outlet, and then you find out that a GFI outlet has tripped that entire circuit. So if you have a problem with any outlets, check the GFIs. This switch here is actually a switch to turn the DC fridge on and off. DC direct current. This refrigerator runs off a battery, and it is cold. You can see the ice crystals here in the freezer. There's a condensation on the back where this refrigerator is running. So the fridge is working. This is a travel lock. Just want to move it into that position so those doors don't fly open while you're traveling. Pantry. TV. Let's hope we got batteries. TV's working. There's an owner's manual in there. Of course, every TV's different. Right. This is your awning remote. So like I said, you just got to, well, it's not quite 100, but there's a lot of different choices, colors that you can have the awning, flash, strobe, fade, brightness, all those things are on that remote. Okay, this is the Fireplace remote. So, I don't care if batteries in there or not. And then I'll have batteries in. Let's do it from here. Button up on the top here. I can figure out which is which. There we go. There's the power button. Oh, it's furthest to the right. Let's play with the other buttons. Okay, you've got different colors you can choose. And this button is going to do the heat. So you can run this without running heat, or you can not have this on and run heat. However you want to do it, or run them both. And that is getting hot, so that is working. There we go. Turn that off. What we got here, so this actually has a temperature gauge on it. You can set to a certain temperature, and once it gets to that point, it will shut off the heating element. So most campsites, unless it's an annual site, electricity is included. So if you're going to be camping in cold weather situations where you need heat, this is a nice thing to have. You're using their money, their electricity to heat your camper, or at least supplement, rather than your money in the propane. Alright. And then there's also a timer. So if you say, I want, in 2 hours, I want this thing to turn off, say maybe at nighttime or whatever it may be, it'll shut itself off. Alright, there we go. Fireplace is working. Cubby, storage. More storage, radio. So this has got AM, FM, Bluetooth, USB, HD, HDMI, auxiliary. It's got a headphone port. Got speakers here and here inside.
Thanks for listening to our huge bunches of songs while at work. And you can still multitask while listening. That much attention.
And these are working as well. Just not turned up real loud. Okay. Put that off. And even say goodbye to us. All right. So all your AC vent, or all your AC runs through the vents in the ceiling, and then your heat runs through these vents on. Got it. Up here. So just turn that knob, and then there's a switch to turn the fan on. You want to be careful about these. Of course, if it starts raining and you've got this all the way open, you've essentially got a big hole in the camper that water's going to pour into. So you got to make sure that's closed when it's raining. You also need to make sure that you close it before you travel, or the wind will rip it off. And again, now you've got a big hole in the camper that water's going to get into. They do make covers that help keep water out if the vents open. Those will be added. Alright, smoke detector. Let's see what's in here. And there's your box for your backup camera. That's going to have your monitor in it. Basically suction cups to your dash. It's Bluetooth, so it's not any kind of direct wiring, but it does have a plug to plug into the cigarette outlet so that it has power. Okay, light switch. There we go, those are working. You do have TV connections right here. Your electric and your cable satellite output. There's a backer in this wall so that you can mount your TV to the wall. Closet. That's a nice additional storage space that you don't get in a lot of campers. Then you've got your wardrobes on either side. Push button reading lights. Those are working. And you do have electric and USB outlets on both sides of the bed. The box for the TV is under there, but you've got additional storage under the bed. Things working in here. Push button lights in the slide. Those on top. Those are all working. Sofa does have a cup holder in the middle. It's a jackknife sofa up and down, and there is some additional storage underneath the sofa. Nice flat like that. These here are usually best operated with two hands. Just one on each side, up and down. Hey, got the horseshoe dinette in this camper. That's some storage underneath both of these. And there's probably storage in there as well. You can move the cushions, and there's a wooden panel that lifts up. So in order to convert this into sleeping, pull this up. So you're going to pull it off of these posts. Get the posts laying, most people just lay them down in here somewhere underneath. Drop the table onto these ledges, and then some combination of your back cushions is going to cover this spot perfectly to make for a full-size bed. One of the cool things about the horseshoe is that it makes a bigger bed when it converts than it would if it was just a regular dinette. Okay. Got curtains here for the bunks. Light. Go, that's working. Got some cabinet. Got water on. And don't have any leaks. We're good there. Another GFI outlet. Another vent with the fan. It's working. Shower. That's working. Toilet. Working. I think that about covers most everything in here. We do need to do the heat.
You could do without the heat.
Yeah. So one of the easiest ways to check if your furnace is working is to check your furnace exhaust. It's out here on this camper on the front side. Here, and that is already blowing hot air, so the furnace is on. You can hear it clicking when it's trying to ignite. Sometimes it'll take it a few times. It'll usually try to light maybe 3 or 4 times, and then it'll stop. So you have to go back and turn it off, turn it back on. And that can be true for the gas tank and water heater also. I think we covered about everything except the outdoor kitchen. We'll be right back once I get a key. Alright, so we got our key for the outdoor kitchen. So open that. Little mini fridge. That is cold. I feel that that's cold. And boom. There's that hose that goes for the spray port that's on the rear of the camper. This is your quick connect propane connection. just collar back, push it on, and then give it a little tug, make sure that it's tightly connected. This handle here, when it is running perpendicular to the hose, means the propane's turned off, and then when you turn it in line with it, it'll be on. Which we're not going to do until we get it connected. Almost directly underneath on this one. Same thing here, collar back, push in, and bring the collar back up, check it. And then this one also has the same thing here with the switch. So we're going to put it in line with the hose, turn it on. And again up here in line with the hose, turn it on. Okay. All right. Looks like it has a sparker on it of some sort. Try to slide a little wider. See it, but it is definitely hot. So that is on and it's working.
You see the flame,
Yeah.
the shadow from it.
The shadow, yeah, it's clear. Okay, so that's working. You do have a grease thing here that you're going to want to dump after you use it. And then you hose into the off positions before you unhook it. And then collar back and pull. You have little covers for those. Keep dirt and debris out of it. That can cause you a lot of problems. All right. We've got a bottle cap opener on it in the outdoor kitchen. And I did want to point out the so back here we did point out a drain, I believe near the front. So the drain near the front is for your fresh water tank, to drain your fresh water tank. These are low point drains, so these are going to drain the the pipes in the camera. Let's see. You have to take hot water for electric side. That is hot. So, the electric side of the water heater is working. I believe it's right here. This panel right here, you can see there's screws on 4 corners. That's going to give you access to the back of your water heater for when you winterize, dewinterize. You take that panel off to access it. I believe we've covered it all, I think. I hope we have. We appreciate the purchase and happy camping.